हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम।
माता जी धन्यवाद प्रणाम। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम। जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद।
धन्यवाद प्रणाम माता जी। हरे कृष्ण। जय श्री प्रभुपाद।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम।
धन्यवाद प्रणाम माता यशोदा मैया। जय श्री प्रभुपाद।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
धन्यवाद प्रणाम राधा भावनी माता जी। हरे कृष्ण। Is my voice clear?
यस प्रभु जी।
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे पंचतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्ण भक्तरूपा स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। So last week we were discussing on four kind of people who come to Krishna consciousness. We discussed the examples from them and then how they are all called neophytes. And we discussed about something about Kanishta, Madhyama and Uttamadhikaris. Now, Bhukti Mukti compared to the witches. When the witches of desire for enjoyment Bhukti and liberation Mukti are present in the heart, how can the happiness of bhakti arise there? So, um, witches are like ghosts. They enter into somebody else's body and they take full control of that person, and the person act based on how the haunted ghost makes the person act. So this desire for bhukti means desire for sense gratification, the material desires. They are like witches. In other words, they take control of our consciousness, and our mind becomes very much engrossed in fulfilling those desires and everything connected to those desires. And when that is the case, then how can bhakti arise in that heart? And then mukti, some people, like today I met a person, this person, he wants liberation. I want to be liberated. Why? Because this material world is a lot of suffering. So when the mind, both are negative to or not conducive to devotional service. Most of us don't actually have the desire for liberation, but this desire for enjoyment is very, very common. So how can the happiness of bhakti arise there? Bhakti or material enjoyment is a witch because it covers the desire for bhakti with material desires. Desire for bhakti is, they are exactly opposite. Bhakti, desire for enjoyment is, I am the center, I am the enjoyer. How can I satisfy myself? And and bhakti, Krishna is the enjoyer. And how can I serve Krishna? Just now I was driving, I was hearing a lecture by Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was mentioning, so Mirabai went to meet Rupa Goswami, and um, she knocked the door. Then and Jiva Goswami was serving Rupa Goswami. Jiva Goswami told Rupa Goswami that Mirabai wants to talk to you. And Rupa Goswami said, tell that I don't speak to ladies. So the message was passed on to Mirabai that Rupa Goswami said he does not talk to uh, women. Uh, then Mirabai replied that as far as I know, there is only one man, one Purusha, and that is Krishna. So, what is the difficulty in a woman meeting another woman? Woman means, Shastrically, woman means one who is to be enjoyed, and man means the enjoyer, Shastrically. But naturally, in this age of Kali, everybody is trying to be a man. In a way, everyone wants to be the enjoyer. So, Rupa Goswami, the news reached Rupa Goswami that according to Mirabai, she said, according to her understanding, there is only one Purusha, and that is Krishna. Everybody else is Prakriti. So Rupa Goswami says, yes, that is correct. I will meet with her. So Prabhupada says, yes, it is like that. Krishna is the only enjoyer. When we want to become the enjoyer, then the desire for bhakti will go away from that heart. But when we are established that I am meant to be enjoyed by Krishna, by my constitutional position, I am not the enjoyer. All enjoyment is meant for Krishna's pleasure. And I am also meant to be enjoyed by Krishna. And my constitutional position is that I want to serve Krishna in order to give pleasure to Krishna. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says, when we want to give pleasure to ourselves, it is called lust. When we want to give pleasure to Krishna, it is called love. The only difference is who is in the center. So Rupa Goswami says here, bhakti or material enjoyment is a witch because it covers the desire for bhakti with material desires. And we also see one of the 10 offenses to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. So we maintain material attachments. And then it becomes difficult to absorb in the holy name also. Devotees do not desire liberation at all. Their minds and senses are captivated by the process of bhakti, such as hearing about Krishna's qualities through the influence of prema. Um, so devotees don't aspire for liberation also. This devotee was asking, so I just need moksha. That's all I need. Tell me how to attain moksha. But they are very new, so I did not say anything to them. Um, but a devotee does not aspire for moksha also. Why? Because they are absorbed in hearing about Krishna's qualities, Krishna's pastimes, and discussing about Krishna. So, why people want moksha is because there is some intense suffering, or they are some way or the other they are frustrated from this material world, and they want to get rid. They don't want to come again. But the reason that they want to come get rid of this world is because they're not able to enjoy. Again, in moksha also, the difference between moksha and kama, which is bhukti and mukti, is both want to be the enjoyer. One is frustrated, they don't want to be here. They want to enjoy at a higher level. Another are attached, so they want to enjoy here. But the common principle is we want to be the enjoyer. And that's why both are compared to witches. But a pure devotee of the Lord, he is just absorbed in hearing about Krishna, glorifying Krishna. And one does not take to bhakti because he's suffering intensely and he wants bhakti to get rid of suffering. In the very beginning, that may be possible because some people come out of distress like Gajendra. But mostly, pure devotion is how can I serve Krishna? How can I please Krishna? And practicing the nine forms of devotional service and very happily situated in practicing with ruchi, with ashakti. So bhakti is very, very high. One example is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, birth after birth, I just want to engage in loving devotional service. I don't want dhanam, I don't want um, wealth, I don't want followers, I don't want beautiful women, and I don't want liberation. I want to engage in the service of the Lord, birth after birth. And we will see many quotations from Srimad Bhagavatam. From exam point of view also, it is helpful to know some quotations, because this is also a style of Rupa Goswami. When he makes a point, he corroborates it, or um, he gives some Bhagavatam quotes from there. First he sets the principle, then he gives many quotations from Bhagavatam to substantiate his work. Another example is Bilva Mangal Thakur, who attained Krishna Prem, very absorbed in remembering the lotus feet of Krishna, serving Krishna. He was writing book that glorifies Krishna, Krishna Karnamrita, and various other books. Bilva Mangal Thakur read very esoteric books. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would read. And Bilva Mangal Thakur says, moksha or liberation is standing at my doorsteps, but I'm not interested because I'm so absorbed in playing with my little Krishna and remembering his pastimes and glorifying him, hearing about him, and various other forms of bhakti. I'm not interested in this. Why? Devotees say there is no pleasure in liberation because there is no understanding of Krishna. Krishna is sweet, Krishna is all attractive. So there is no positive engagement there. It's just naiti, naiti, naiti. All the Shankaracharya followers, Mayavadis, have those goals, but they are all considered as material because I am the enjoyer. There are few examples of bhakti over liberation. This is Uddhav. O Lord, although devotees have no difficulty in achieving dharma, artha, kama, moksha, I don't desire them. I prefer only to serve your lotus feet. Devotees can easily attain, like they can fulfill all their material desires. They can attain liberation. They can attain wealth, artha. They can follow religiosity simultaneously. And Uddhava says, whoever wants, they can easily attain, let them attain, but I'm not interested. I prefer only to serve your lotus feet. This is like pure bhakti. Basically, nothing for myself, my Lord. Service at your feet. Um, if you are happy, I'm happy, and I just want to serve you. And there is nothing. One servant of Srila Prabhupada, Shruti Kirti Prabhu. He would hear the news of Bhakti Tirth Maharaj Swami, 15,000 books, and this many Bhagavatam sets, and Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, this many Sankirtan parties, this many full-time devotees. This temple is growing like this, and they perform Rath Yatra, and 15,000 people came, and everybody they were doing Herculean task of spreading Krishna consciousness, and they would send their letters to Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada would smile, being very happy. And Shrutikirti Prabhu thought that his life is waste. He asked Srila Prabhupada, so Prabhupada, I feel like I'm not able to please you. All these devotees and all these temples are giving so much joy to you, but I'm not able to do anything. I'm just sitting next to you and traveling, and I'm getting all the honor and everything from them, but I'm not doing anything to please you. So Prabhupada asked him, so are you happy being with me? So Shrutikirti Prabhu said that I'm blissful in your association. So Prabhupada says, then don't worry about it. Just be with me. So likewise, I was thinking, Uddhava is telling those who want something, but I just want to serve your lotus feet. And I'm just happy remaining at your lotus feet and serving you. And that's what Uddhava did. Um, and Krishna was in Dwarka, Uddhava would just be next to him, take the remnants of Krishna, wear the remnant clothes of Krishna, the remnant garland of Krishna, and just serve Krishna. And otherwise, this is why he's saying, I don't want moksha also. Lord Kapila told Devahuti, a pure devotee who serves me never desires to become one with me, Sayujya Mukti, but glorifies my pastimes and activities. So um, there are 5 kinds of liberation. Next one speaks. There is Salokya. Salokya is having the same planet as the Lord. Sarupya is having the same form as the Lord. Samipya is uh, living close to the Lord. Samip is very close, Samipya. And Shastri is having the same opulence as the Lord. And Sayujya is merging into the effulgence of the Lord. So Lord Kapila told in the second verse, a pure devotee who serves me never desires to become one with me. So this is Lord himself telling to Devahuti that those who render bhakti, they never want to become one with me, but always glorifies my pastimes and activities. Means the personal feature they are affected. Devotees don't desire liberation because it lacks service to Krishna's lotus feet, perception of Krishna's beauty, taste of Krishna's sweet pastime. So Krishna is not there. That's why they don't want liberation. Srila Prabhupada says one can control the mind by meditating on the lotus feet of Krishna. And that also shows Prabhupada many times glorifies the lotus feet of Krishna. That also shows how much nectar Srila Prabhupada was deriving from the lotus feet of Krishna. Or Prabhupada would describe Krishna's beauty, Krishna's pastime. So they are all very attractive, but none of these things are there in liberation. Then the next verse, Lord Kapila said, a pure devotee does not accept any of the 5 types of liberation, even if the Lord personally offers them, if they are not accompanied by service to the Lord. So a devotee is not interested to get these opulences, to get these liberations. A devotee rejects Sayujya, impersonal liberation. Rest 4, a devotee may want it. It is not outside the scope of bhakti. To having the same planet as the Lord, same similar form as the Lord, living next to the Lord, close by, residents having the same opulences of the Lord. They are not against the principles of bhakti, as long as the mood in those liberation is service. If we want to go back to Godhead because we think there is more enjoyment there, then it's the same mentality we are carrying over, going back to Godhead. Rather, the mood should be, my Lord, how can I serve you? We want to serve the Lord here, and we want to serve the Lord over there. Then Dhruv Maharaj prayed, O Lord, the bliss of meditating upon your lotus feet or hearing about you from your devotees is far beyond the stage of Brahmananda and the happiness of heaven. So Dhruv Maharaj naturally he saw the Lord face to face. So he himself is sharing his own experience. That when I meditate, when I'm in front of you, when I meditate, when I hear about you, way more uh, um, the bliss is way more than Brahmananda and happiness of heaven. If we go to heaven, happiness is also there. If we enter into Brahman realization, the happiness is way more than the heavenly happiness. But even that happiness cannot satisfy the soul. We see even in material world, we may derive some joy, and it may be satisfying, but then we quickly become like used to it, and we don't enjoy that anymore. That's something that was a great moment of happiness for us in the past. Now it's no more joy giving. Brahmananda saying, because our original position is love of Krishna, and only that thing can satisfy us. So in Brahmananda feels very good when somebody meditate, when somebody enters into it. But very soon, which may be millions of years sometimes, he becomes bored and he comes back. But that's not our position. King Prithu prayed, and this also shows that how entire Bhagavatam is about a personal form of the Lord and relationship with a personal aspect. Oh Lord, I do not want liberation where there is no nectar of service to your feet. I want the boon of at least 1 million years to hear your nectarian glories from the mouths of your pure devotees. Prabhupada also says the glories of the Lord should be heard from the devotees of the Lord. When they are heard from those who are demoniac, then the glories of the Lord is touched by the poison. Just like a milk touched by the serpent becomes poisonous. Likewise, the glories of the Lord, when touched, glories of the Lord are infinite and blissful, absorbing. But when the same glories of the Lord are touched by the non-devotees or demoniac people, then um, it's like it becomes poisonous. But here we see King Prithu says, I want million of years to hear the nectarian glories from the mouths of your pure devotees. This shows his attachment to the nectar of the service to your feet. The thing is, we are not very advanced. So we may not be able to understand the nectar of the service to the feet of the Lord and what pure hearing is, because we don't have that taste. That's why we are in the path of sadhana bhakti. But we see Arjuna telling Krishna, I am never tired hearing about you. Parikshit Maharaj is so eager, 7 days, 7 nights he is hearing. Uddhava says, I cannot stop hearing about you. The sages of Nimesharanya tell Sutta Goswami, I cannot stop hearing about the glories of the Lord. Tell us about Krishna, tell us about all the incarnation of Krishna. This is because they have developed such a taste. Last week we were discussing about the 6 characteristics of pure devotional service. And one of the characteristics was deride even the concept of liberation. What to speak about not desiring liberation, but the concept of liberation is disgusting to a pure devotee. Because they have developed such ashakti, such ruchi, and such taste in hearing the glories of the Lord and remembering the lotus feet of the Lord. They just can't even imagine. And that's why it is said that this characteristic of deride even the concept of liberation, that blessing is given to us at the stage of bhava. Because when we are at that stage, when we are experiencing, then we realize what it means to deride even the concept of liberation. Then there is Sukadev Goswami telling Maharaj Parikshit, King Bharat was very much attached to Krishna's service. So he could easily give up his opulent kingdom, wife, family, and so on, which is difficult for others to give up. It is natural for such devotees to give up anything they consider even liberation insignificant. Now, naturally, Bharat Maharaj, he became a deer, although, but he was very attached. He was very much attached to Krishna's service. He could give up his kingdom, family, and everything. And he could go to the forest and he could remember the Lord. And he has such taste that he could give up everything and just focus on that. Although unfortunately he did become attached to a deer, but his taste was very high. If we give up anything and we sit and remember the Lord, then we will give up remembering the Lord and we will go back to our original nature. But Bharat Maharaj was so attached to Krishna, and they considered, and he, Sukadev Goswami says, he considered even liberation as insignificant. There is no positive thing to talk to remember. There is nothing transcendental there, like transcendental form, transcendental pastimes, transcendental qualities. Those things are not there. Vritrasura, O Lord, I don't desire to rule Dhruvalok, Brahmalok, or any other higher or lower planets in the universe. I don't want yogic perfections or liberation. All I wish for is your association, eternal service. So Vitrasura says, your association and eternal service is all that I want. Don't want any higher planets, don't want yogic perfections, don't want liberation. Bhukti Siddhi Mukti Kami, Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakalyasha. Some people want yogic perfections. They can read others' mind, they can float, they can fulfill any desire they have, they can enter into anyone's body and do whatever they want with others' body also. So they some people are very much attracted to these mystic powers. But a devotee has such higher taste in the lotus feet of Krishna, remembering Krishna, that they don't want mystic perfection, they don't want liberation. Why people want mystic perfection? Their conception of being the enjoyer is satisfied. Why liberation? I am the enjoyer. If I'm frustrated here, let me leave this place and go to a place where I can be happy. Bhukti, Kami, well, if some of my desires are fulfilled, I'll be happy there. All this Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Kami, the center is I am the enjoyer. Lord Shiva, pure devotees of Lord Narayan never fear any condition of life. For them, even the heaven, liberation, and hell are all the same, for they are interested only in Lord service. This is an example of Maharaj Chitraketu, who was cursed to take birth in a demoniac family as Vratrasura, and Chitraketu Maharaj was unaffected. Parvati was shocked. I mean, people want liberation. Why? Because they don't want to suffer. But demoniac life is such a suffering. But Vratrasura has no problem taking a demoniac birth. And Lord Shiva says, did you see, my dear wife Parvati? Did you see? Pure devotees of Lord Narayan never fear any condition of life. Many people come to the program of Krishna consciousness, especially in the beginning, because um, um, life is miserable, distress. But a pure devotee of the Lord never fear any condition of life. For them, the heaven, liberation, hell are all the same. How is it possible? I don't know how many in this Zoom call want to go to hell. One time devotee asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, where are you going next? Prabhupada said, I'm going to hell to preach there. So Lord Shiva says, they don't fear any condition of life. Bhagavatam says we can experience hellish suffering even on the earthly planet. Those same punishments are there here also. So for them, heaven, liberation, and hell are all the same. Means the concept is that they don't think they are the enjoyer. But they go down, they go up, they remain in the middle, whatever, wherever they are put, they just want to continue serving the Lord. Brahma also prayed to Krishna. Brahma does not pray to Krishna after Brahma Vimohan Lila. He does not say, I want liberation. He says, make me a blade of grass or any shrub or any living entity just outside the area of Vrindavan. So when devotees go, Uddhava also, when devotees go, um, they will hear about the Lord. They will get the feet, the dust. No, it's not a very exalted position or honor or beauty, and none of things are there. But then he, his reverence and for Brajavasis, his understanding of the great exalted position of Brajavasis. This is Indra to Mother Diti. Devotees interested only in worship of Krishna do not desire liberation or anything material, as they know what is actually beneficial for them. So Indra is telling Diti that what is actually beneficial is the worship of Krishna. They do not desire liberation, anything material. Why? Because if they get liberation, at some point of time they'll be miserable and they will leave that place. If they get any fulfillment of material desires, at some point of time that will become boring and disgusting and no rasa there, no more interest there. So the devotees of Lord Krishna, they know what is actually beneficial for them. It is said that those who don't want bhakti, they don't know what they actually want actually. But covered by illusion, they think something is very attractive and they run behind it. But those who are actually compassionate to oneself, they take up bhakti. And others are considered as killer of their own soul. In other words, it's illusion. They try to derive some happiness from somewhere else and put themselves into frustration. So they are their own they are leading to their own destruction. Prahlad spoke to his schoolmates, nothing is obtainable for devotees who have satisfied the Supreme Lord Krishna. For such devotees, what is the use of dharma, artha, kama, moksha, which are all automatically obtainable under the influence of material modes? You can get moksha in mode of goodness. Kama is passion. Artha is passion. Dharma is goodness. So, kama can be ignorance. Distress can be ignorance also. So, dharma, artha, kama, moksha are automatically obtainable by the influence of three modes. They can easily get it. Gajendra, unalloyed devotees who have no desire other than to serve the Lord. Unalloyed devotees who have no desire other than to serve the Lord. They are fully surrendered and are always absorbed in the bliss of hearing and chanting his activities. So whether it is what we are seeing is whether it's Gajendra, Prahlad, Indra, Shiva, Uddhava, um, Dhruva, um, all the personalities in Bhagavatam, they all have the same prayer. This is very interesting. Sukadev Goswami is speaking. We saw Vratrasura. Whatever example, they all just want to serve the Lord and they don't want dharma, artha, kama, moksha, wealth, uh, material desires. They don't want liberation. They only want to serve the Lord, and all of them, they have one thing in common. They love hearing about the Lord. They love remembering the lotus feet of the Lord. And the last one also, the bliss of hearing and chanting his activities. They just love, they are addicted to it, so they don't want anything else. Too full. When they compare the pleasure that they are deriving from hearing and chanting to the pleasure of Brahman, it's disgusting. Like Lukha Sukha Khana, compared to you have such opulent prasad of hearing and chanting. So they are fully, they are not attached. I mean, we don't want to be the enjoyers, but we become the real enjoyer when we take her to the path of bhakti. But that enjoyment comes by thinking ourselves as by rendering selfless service to Krishna by trying to please Krishna, and then one becomes real enjoyment. Lord Vishnu told Durvasa, my devotees um, who are always satisfied in my service are not interested even in the four types of personal liberation, what to speak about the perishable happiness of heaven. So this is when Durvasa Muni was Sudarshan Chakra was chasing Durvasa Muni after Durvasa Muni offended Maharaj Ambarish. When Durvasa Muni went to Lord Vishnu, then Lord Vishnu told Durvasa that my devotees don't want anything other than they are always satisfied in serving me. Lord Vishnu was glorifying Maharaj Ambarish. Maharaj Ambarish, when he was attacked, he said, my lord, whatever you want, you can do with me. When Durvasa Muni was attacked with Sudarshan Chakra, he's trying to save his life. My lord, please save my life, save my life. So Vishnu said, see, he didn't even want to save his life. He just want to serve me in any situation. He's completely surrendered to my will. No, and that's why he's a great personality. The wives of Kaliya, serpent, prayed to Krishna. Those who have attained the dust of your lotus feet never hanker for the kingship of Dhruvalok, limitless sovereignty, the position of Brahma, the rulership over the earth, yogic perfection, or even liberation. Even the wives of Nag, Nagis, wives of Kaliya, Nagapatanis, they are so advanced that those who have attained the dust of a lotus feet never hanker for anything. आप मतलब cannot understand it. Basically, they were very much astonished that what great activities our husband Kalia has performed. He has attained the dust of your lotus feet. That dust, that anybody who even who attains them, they never hanker for anything. Liberation, yogic perfection, rulership over the earth, position of Brahma, kingship of Dhruvalok, or anything. But Kalia, these all Nagapatnis, they are unallowed devotees of them. Lord is telling Indra, Lord is telling Durvasa because they are not very exalted devotees. They don't have that deep personal bhakti. But those who have, they reject. This is the this is from 10th canto, one of the last chapters of 10th canto. The personified Vedas pray to Lord Krishna. Dear Lord, your devotees renounce all comforts to associate with the acharyas and fully absorb themselves in your bhakti. They are indifferent even to liberation. Anyways, they are indifferent even to liberation. Lord Krishna told Uddhava, my devotees who have fully taken my shelter do not desire anything besides me. Indeed, even if I offer them liberation from birth and death, they will refuse. So Krishna himself is telling to Uddhava, if I tell my devotees, hey, sir, I will give you liberation of birth and death. My devotees say, what will I do? I don't want. Very good example, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Kolavecha Sridhar. Mahaprabhu asked Kolavecha Sridhar, ask for a benediction. Sridhar said, my lord, I don't want anything. Then Mahaprabhu said, I'll make you king of heaven. Sridhar said, what will I do with that? My lord, keep it with you. And then Lord Chaitanya said, I'll give you liberation. Kolavita Sridhar said, what will I do with the liberation? Keep it with yourself. Lord Chaitanya said, I'll give you Vaikuntha. He said, what will I do going to Vaikuntha? You go to Vaikuntha. Then he says, okay, I'll give you Vrindavan. He said, what will I do in Vrindavan also? I'm happy here. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, what is this? You should ask for something. Then Kolavita Sridhar said, if you really are very impatient to give me some benediction, then give me that benediction that birth after birth, may you come and steal my banana leaves and give me the joy of serving you. So this is so Krishna himself says to Uddhava, indeed, even if I offer them liberation from birth and death, they will refuse. You give anybody who is suffering, hey, I'll give you liberation, moksha. They will say, give me. But if you ask pure devotees, they said, I don't want. They do not desire anything beside me. So a pure devotee does not want Vrindavan also, but they want to become pure. And in a pure state, they want to serve Krishna purely. They want to be attached to Krishna so that they can purely serve Krishna. Lord Shiva told his wife, surely this Brahmana, Markandeya, does not desire any benediction, not even liberation, for he has attained pure bhakti onto the Supreme Lord. This Lord Shiva was traveling with his wife, and his wife noticed Parvati, a great Rishi, Markandeya Rishi. And Lord Shiva and Parvati, they went to meet him, comes in 11th canto. 11th or 12th canto? 12th canto, I think. Anyways, so, and Markandeya had pure devotee unto Krishna. So he says, surely he doesn't want anything now. There is nothing that we can give him. Why? He has pure bhakti. So we can just become friend with him and take his association. Hanuman prayed, I do not desire liberation that cuts material bondage, because in that state of liberation, awareness that you are the master, I am the servant disappears. Hanuman says, liberation, you keep, my lord. I don't want liberation. Because if I get liberation, then I won't be your servant and you won't be my master, and that our relationship goes away, then liberation I don't want. I just want to remain your servant. Parikshit Maharaj Sukadev Goswami, among millions of liberated souls, muktas who are still in their material bodies, and perfected souls, mukta nam api siddha nam, siddhas who have attained spiritual bodies, a devotee of Lord Ram Krishna who is peaceful is extremely rare. So this comes 6th canto PC. Among millions of liberated souls, one who has pure devotion for Krishna is very rare. Among millions of perfected beings, siddhas, who has pure devotion to Krishna is very rare. Which basically clearly means that a devotee of Krishna is way, way higher than even liberated souls or perfected beings. Sudha Goswami, even liberated souls, Atma Ramas Munayo, Atma Ramas and Munis also desire to render unalloyed bhakti unto Krishna, being attracted to his transcendental qualities. The example of Sukadev Goswami, who was liberated when he came out from the womb of Vyasadeva's wife, and he was not attached to anything. He saw the ladies, he was unattracted. People were criticizing him, throwing stones at him, unaffected. He would not wear any clothes. His behavior was like an avadut, apparently like a madman. But when he heard about, he was liberated. Whether people are defaming him or whatever, wealth, woman, nothing touches him. Liberated. But when he heard somebody glorifying Krishna, he was attracted. So this verse says that even Atma Ramas and Munis are attracted to the glories of the Lord because Lord is transcendental. Even liberated souls. And among millions of liberated souls, seeing one who is a pure devotee of Krishna is very rare. So I think around 30, 40 verses we saw, all quoted by Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Prabhupada describes them in great detail, all these examples. You may want to remember few examples for the exam point of view. How bhakti surpasses liberation. And Rupa Goswami says this desire for liberation and material enjoyment, they are like witches. They cover um, the living entity. Both are with I am the enjoyer in the center. And in such heart, pure bhakti does not arise. Finally, gradations in mukti, personal liberation. Although devotees are not interested in any of the 5 types of liberation, the 4 types of personal liberation, namely living in the same planet, having the same opulence, living close by, having the same physical form, they are not against the ideal of bhakti. For example, somebody may become a cowherd boy. It is to some extent sarupya. Somebody may become a tree in Goloka. It is samipya, living close by to the Lord, or a peacock. So they are all personal liberation, and they are not against the ideals of bhakti. Prabhupada also says, go back, come back to Godhead. Though these four are not so contradictory to bhakti, they are contrary to a small degree. If a devotee has desire for these four muktis, independent of the desire to please the Lord, then the bhakti is no longer anya abhilashita shunya. Anya abhilash is shunya. Um, so Rupa Goswami says, yes, they are not contradictory to bhakti, but if one wants to go back and attain these, because it's very good position, and the purpose of attaining this is, it is satisfying, it is very nice. The purpose is not to serve the Lord. The purpose is to not, the desire is to attain this independent of service to the Lord, for the sake of service to the Lord. When the service of the Lord concept is not there, then it's again a material desire. And then it is contrary to bhakti. Two varieties of personal liberation. One is predominated by the desire for happiness and opulence, another is predominated by the desire for loving service. The first one is not accepted by those who are inclined to serve Krishna. Um, some want to go and attain some personal liberation, like having the same planet to Vaikuntha to Goloka, but they have a desire to be happy, and that is not pure bhakti. But some, they want to go in order to serve the Lord for the loving service, and they have no tinge of, not even a scent, a perfume, an aroma of desire to enjoy, other than giving pleasure to the Lord by their body, mind, and soul, in whichever way. Serve the Lord to give the Lord pleasure with zero desire, then that is pure Krishna Bhakti. Till the time we work in that direction, um, we are not gonna go to Golokvrinda. Among all the dedicated devotees, Prema Bhaktas, those whose hearts are stolen by Lord Govinda, Krishna and Vrindavan, the satisfier of the senses and of the senses of the gopis, are the best. They are not even attracted to Narayan in Vaikuntha or the other forms of the Lord in Dwarka and so on. So these are gradations of mukti. We saw here their personal liberation, then there's personal liberation without any material desire, only for the sake of seva. And among personal liberation, um, for the sake of service, in Goloka Vrindavan, service to gopis, the satisfier of the sense, Govinda, the satisfier, Krishna and Vrindavan, Govinda or Krishna and Vrindavan, the satisfier of the senses of the gopis. Those whose hearts are stolen by this such Govinda, they are the best Premi Bhaktas. They are higher. They are not even attracted to Narayan or Dwarka or Vaikuntha. Though the forms of Vishnu and Krishna are not non-different according to the statements of scripture, Krishna's form is superior because of his rasas, sweetness, composed of highest levels of prema. Krishna and Vishnu are same, but the pastimes of Krishna, the beauty of Krishna, the fruit of Krishna, the relationship that Krishna's devotee Krishna has with his devotees, intimacy of those relationships, they are way, way, way more superior. And that's why Krishna and Vrindavan is the highest. The 16,108 100 queens of Krishna, other than the 8 principal queens, describe the supreme attractiveness of Krishna's form at Kurukshetra. Rejecting all kinds of boons, they only desire to develop the mood similar to the Vraj Gopis. And like, again, this is similar to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asking Ramananda Roy, what is the goal of life? And Ramananda Roy is telling one by one, it is one ashram, it is surrendered to Krishna. And Mahaprabhu again and again says, whatever you do, whatever you eat, do it as an offering to Krishna. And Mahaprabhu again and again says, Ehi bhaya, aar bolo. This is all external. Go deeper, go deeper, go deeper. Finally, he came to this point. And here, We see the queens of Krishna are praying when they saw the gopis and Srimati Radharani in Kurukshetra. Then the queens are praying that this devotion is amazing. They are telling that we want to develop a mood similar to Braj gopis. How they love Krishna, want to serve Krishna like that. So Rupa Goswami, after describing that bhukti is an obstacle, then mukti is an obstacle, and then Rupa Goswami describes at length how mukti is an obstacle. Actually, mukti is a desire for mukti is a greater obstacle than desire for bhukti or material desires. Fortunately, we never went into, and most of us, I don't think we really desire Brahman or mukti. But those who have those desires, I know some people who want Brahman realization, they are coming to the program for almost a year or more, and they can't give up the conception of desire to enter into Brahman, no matter what you speak to them. So it is even greater desire. All of us have material desires, but we are still peacefully practicing bhakti. But desire for mukti is very dangerous. But anyways, among those who are who want personal liberation, the um, mm, um, the devotees of Govinda, Krishna and Vrindavan is the best. And among those who follow the mood of the Vraj gopis. Very nice. Okay, duties of a qualified Vaidhi Bhakta. No material disqualification for Vaidhi Bhakta. Vasishtha told King Dilipa, everyone is qualified for bhakti. Sarve adhikarino hi atra hari bhakta. Just as everyone is qualified to take bath during the month of Magh, Padma Purna. Any one of you want to take bath in the month of Magh, you can go and take bath. Nobody will stop you. Likewise, nobody, there is no qualification for bhakti. But we say that no, bhakti has to start from somewhere. But Vasishtha Muni says no material disqualification. Whoever you are, you can take a bhakti. Those who possess faith and are devoid of desires for material enjoyment and liberation are qualified for pure bhakti. So for bhakti, no qualification. Anyone can take a bhakti. But for Shuddha bhakti, then one should be free from any desire to be enjoyed. Free from desire for material enjoyment, free from desire for liberation, and very strong faith. Pure bhakti has qualification, but to start Vaidhi bhakti, no qualification. Bhakti is executed without any desire for gain and cannot be checked by any material circumstances. Aparad can check our bhakti. Asat sang can check our bhakti. But otherwise, um, no material circumstances, bhakti cannot be checked by any material circumstances. One Prabhu was telling, please pray for my wife that she can become a devotee. I was telling him, Prabhu, she will not become a devotee as long as she is not favorably disposed to devotees. If you have enmity toward devotees, bhakti will not arise in the heart. Then Vaishnava initiation in the country known as Mayuradhwaja. Even the outcasts receive Vaishnava initiation, wearing proper dress, tilak with beads in their hands and on their necks. They appear to be coming from Vaikuntha and surpass the ordinary Brahmanas. Anyone who is initiated by a bona fide guru as a Vaishnava becomes a Brahmana as much as bell metal turns into gold by the mixture of mercury. Bell metal is, useless metal actually. In a way, there is no value of it. But when you touch mercury to bell metal, it becomes gold, and gold is very valuable. Likewise, you can take an outcast, a very low degraded soul, outcast, and then you give him initiation. The moment he is touched by initiation, is like base metal, bell metal, touched by mercury. Initiation is compared to mercury. You take any common outcast, low born, degraded, lowest among all, and you give him Vaishnava initiation, then he will immediately become a Brahman or a great personality. This is the power of initiation. So Kashi Khanda, Skanda Puran says they appear to be coming from Vaikuntha. They are outcast, kind of very low degraded, low born degraded people. But as soon as they receive Vaishnava initiation, they appear to be coming from Vaikuntha and surpass the ordinary Brahman. So this is the power of Vaishnava association. Immediately you become like gold the moment you become a Das or a Devi Dasi. So basically, Vaidhi Bhakti, no qualification required. But after practicing Vaidhi Bhakti, once you receive initiation, now you are a great personality. What is fault and what is not? Just initiation from Guru is not sufficient. One has to serve Krishna carefully, following the rules and regulations rigidly, and perform the indispensable angas of bhakti, such as observing Ekadashi and Janmashtami. Otherwise, one is at fault and will fall down again. But one is not at fault for failing to perform the duties of one man ashram. So if you don't perform one ashram, that's okay, no worries. But just initiation is only a beginning. And after initiation, one must serve Krishna carefully and rigidly follow the rules and regulations. That one takes a vow. If you are not able to follow the rules and regulations rigidly, then my request is don't take initiation. Wait for some time, train yourself. Once you follow the rules and regulations rigidly, and you are serving Krishna carefully, then you will take an initiation and then follow this. This is absolutely must. If one is at fault, then Prabhupada says there, then one will fall down. But if you don't follow one ashram, no problem. Accidental sins, if a devotee accidentally commits a sin, nishiddhachar, one need not perform a ritualistic atonement, prayaschit. Simply discharging bhakti is sufficient for reinstatement. This is the conclusion of the Vaishnava scriptures and the mystery of Bhakti Yoga. This is what makes Bhakti Yoga very, very confidential. Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita 9 chapter 30-31, Apiche Sudurachara. Accidentally, if you fall down, no need of any atonement or prayaschit. Simply keep practicing devotional service, and in due course of time, you will be reinstated in your original consciousness. Although there may be some up and down after that, some reaction may be there. So this is the mystery of bhakti, and that's why Bhakti Yogi, there is no fall down for Bhakti Yogi. Bhakti Yogi overcome by Maya, no problem. But Bhakti Yogi committing aparad, big problem. Steadiness versus deviation. A devotee must be steady in bhakti and follow the regulated principles without deviation. He should be steady and he should follow the principles without deviation. Regulated principles without deviation. Don't break regulated principles. Prabhupada says it will create havoc in our spiritual life. Incomplete practice is also beneficial. One who has forsaken his material occupation to engage in the devotional service of the Lord may sometimes fall down while in an immature stage. Yet there is no danger of his being unsuccessful. On the other hand, a non-devotee, though fully engaged in occupational duty, does not gain anything. Somebody perfectly doing his duty in mode of goodness, not committing any sinful activities. But if he is not worshipping Krishna, he does not get anything out of it. He will just remain in three modes. But one who may give up his occupation, may take to Krishna consciousness very seriously, but may fall down because he's not very mature. There is nothing called unsuccessful, because a moment of devotional service is also an eternal benefit. But a whole lifetimes of perfect duty get nothing. Does not get anything, get nothing. But a moment of devotional service, and that's an eternal credit to you. Lifetimes of occupational duty without Krishna, no eternal credit. You get some good karma, you burn the good karma, and you fall down again. But a moment of bhakti is eternally beneficial to you. So it is said that incomplete practice is also beneficial. Arjuna also asked, what is the destination of unsuccessful yogi? Krishna says, short term, go to heaven and then take birth as a human to continue, or long term, take birth in a family of devotees and continue. In essence, take birth as a devotee and continue. So even if one is unsuccessful, there is incomplete practice is also beneficial. Full shelter, Krishna told Uddhava, anyone who takes my shelter in full surrender and follows my instruction, giving up all ordinary occupational duties or rituals, is to be considered a first class devotee. One, Krishna also Sarva Dharma Parityaja, full surrender, full shelter. Follow Krishna's instruction. He is a first class devotee, even if he give up occupational duties, no obligation. Karabhajana Muni told King Nimi, anyone who has taken full shelter of Lord Mukunda owes neither duties of Varnashram nor obligations to Devas, sages, forefathers, general living beings, and so on. Devarshi Bhutapta Nrinam Putrinam, which says you have no obligation to the sages, to forefathers, general living beings, devatas, if you take up to bhakti. Full shelter of Mukunda, then neither you are bound to perform varnashram, nor you are bound to reciprocate with anybody. No obligation. Protection from sin. Krishna told Arjuna, give up all dharma, just surrender unto me. I will protect you from all sinful reactions and all impediments in bhakti. Do not worry. For those who have faith in bhakti, there is no sin in giving up the duties of dharma as they do it by the order of the Lord. So the word pape bhyo in this Gita verse means the obstacles in bhakti and not the sins. So basically anybody who give up all dharmas and just surrender to Krishna, there is no sin anyways, because Krishna says give up all dharma and surrender. So how can there be sin of giving up dharma? There is no sin if you give up dharma. But what Krishna says, if you surrender, aham tvam sarva papebhyo means whatever obstacles you will face in the path of bhakti, I will remove those impediments, those obstacles, and clear your way to pure devotion. Our obstacles are our own material desires, ahankar, envy, pride. There are a lot of obstacles that stop us from bhakti. But if we take full shelter of Krishna and if we are patient, then all these emotions may come and go, come and go, come and go. But if we remain steady in our practices of bhakti, all these obstacles will eventually go away. Krishna killed various demons, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur says they all represent various obstacles. And when Krishna is pleased, Krishna may kill those obstacles within our heart. So we can practice pure bhakti. But killing of obstacles by ourselves is not up to us, because they are just too much and beyond us. But practicing bhakti we have. It's up to us if we can be sincere. No ritualistic rules. Just as the scripture rules and regulations do not apply to a liberated person, the ritualistic principles in the Vedic supplements are not required for a person engaged in the service of Lord Ram. It basically means anybody worshipping Krishna, Vedas and other rules and regulations they don't have to follow. One who has taken full shelter at the lotus feet of Hari is very dear to him. Having given up all other engagements and thoughts, if such a surrendered soul sometimes commits a sin accidentally, the Lord immediately takes away the reaction of such sin and corrects the devotee from within, as the Lord sits in everyone's heart. When anybody, the Lord is sitting in one's heart, anybody who commit any sin accidentally, the Lord immediately take away the reaction to such sin and correct the devotee from within. Basically, Krishna will do whatever it takes. Krishna will do whatever it takes for us to rectify us. All right. Lord Krishna takes a special interest in his devotees and declares emphatically that nothing can cause his devotees to fall down. Okay, so that's all we have. We have done almost 1.5 chapters today. This is a summary, majority of which was the various uh, prayers that shows that a devotee is attached to loving service, attached to hearing. Of course, the pure devotees, we may not have those symptoms, but if we can understand that liberation nobody wants. Material desire and liberation considered to witches. Then we saw different gradations of mukti, and we saw the highest gradation is one who worship Krishna or Govinda in Vrindavan, who give pleasure to the senses of the gopis. And then we saw the various um, what is the qualification to render Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti? No qualification required. No material qualification required. But Shuddha Bhakti, yes, we need to be free from the desire for liberation, from material enjoyment, and with full faith. Anya Bilashita Shunya, free from Gyan and Karma. Then we can practice Shuddha Bhakti. And then even a Vaidhi Bhakta, Krishna helps. There is no sin for him. Any obstacle of a Vaidhi Bhakta, Krishna removes. And the Vaidhi Bhakta has no obligation. The Vaidhi Bhakti performed even for a very short amount of time is eternal benefit. Even if he falls down because of immaturity, there is no loss. And various beautiful aspects we discuss of Vaidhi Bhakta. This presentation will be shared. If any discussion, we can take now. Otherwise, that's all we have. Any questions? All right. Thank you very much for joining. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Srila Prabhupada. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji, Mataji, Hare Krishna. If I spoke
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
धन्यवाद प्रणाम
Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Jai Shri Ram.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
प्रभुजी थैंक यू हरे कृष्ण
Thank you, Prabhuji, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Hare Krishna.